What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel. You're watching Miguel EDC, that channel where we talk everything EDC gear here. Today we're taking a look at the Kizer Cryptid. This one here is, I'm just gonna say this right off the bat, banger of an EDC knife. This one slaps, you guys. That's what the cool kids say, right, these days. The slaps, right? This one certainly slaps, and I'm gonna tell you why, right? That's what this video is for. I'm gonna share with you the good, the bad, the ugly, but I'm gonna, spoiler alert, just share with you right off the bat. There's a lot more good than anything. This one is such a hit, man. Such a great knife. I can't wait to share with you everything that I've been able to gather after carrying this knife here for quite some time. Again, first of all, let me give a huge shout out to Kevin, aka Lefty EDC, for the opportunity to check this one out. Again, I got this knife here as part of his knife pass around some time ago. I did an unboxing, so hopefully you guys have seen that video by now. If you haven't, you can check it out after this video, of course. Also, this knife will be linked down below, so if you want to check out availability, if you want to see prices, or if you want to compare it with any other knife, this knife and any other knife that you see in this video will be linked down below. So it does help out the channel when you use those links if you end up purchasing a knife through those links, but that is entirely 100% up to you and at absolutely no extra cost. So let's get things started here, and I just can't wait. This knife gets me excited. Such a good knife, such a great action. We're gonna talk all about that in just a second. Overall length on this one, about 6 3/4 right there. We have a blade length of just shy of 3 inches, more like 2.85, and the cutting edge is 3.75, so 2 1/4 inches cutting edge, and about just shy of 4 inches, more like 3.85 on the handle length right there. Here's your usual size comparisons, the PM2 and the Para 3. So I mentioned earlier, it is a smaller knife, so it's just small enough that it's trying to get into the medium category. We'll call it a medium, but you know, about an inch, right, half inch maybe on each side, about an inch shorter than the Para 3. All right, here is the Demko AD 20.5 right there, which is again in the medium range, and the smaller brother, the Shark Cub. Right, honestly, right now that I'm seeing them side by side, it's definitely a tad bit shorter, but very comparable to the Shark Cub in that overall size. Right, check that out. Here's your Wrap Model 1. Right, obviously that's going to be a much larger knife. What about the Wrap Model 2? Wrap Model 2 is a tad bit longer, maybe a half an inch as well. Check that out there. And last but not least, here's the Vosteed Raccoon, which also has micarta, a little bit darker on the Raccoon. Right, Raccoon is a little bigger. And here's the stainless steel, also a button lock, CJRB Pyrite. All right, check it out right there. Again, the Cryptid is just ever so slightly smaller, right, about half an inch smaller than the Pyrite. Carry profile thickness against the Wrap Model 1 is going to be very comparable, actually, to the Wrap Model 1. Something like the AD 20.5 is going to be a little slimmer. And last but not least, the CJRB Pyrite is also going to be a tad bit slimmer. Okay, if I can keep my hand steady, that would be great, Miguel. That's a good start. Somebody's gonna write that in the comments. That guy does not have steady hands. What's going on? Anyways, yes, the action on this thing, man, great action on this knife. I'll tell you that right now. Of course, we have a button lock. It is a plunge style button lock. It is on ball bearings, and man, oh man, are these amazing ball bearings. So, of course, you could use the button to deploy it all day, every day, and you have. This one is a lovely one because you have thumb studs, and they are decently far away from the handle scales themselves. So you could literally flick this thing with your eyes closed. That's how easy it is to build pressure and wha-bam, flip this thing open. My favorite is you could reverse flick one of 2 ways. You could do it off of the flesh or meat of your middle finger right there, or you could just do it with your nail right here. Put your whole finger behind the thumb stud and open it that way. And yeah, as far as deployment goes and fidget factor, man, oh man, this knife has it times 3,000. Yeah, it is really good, great action, and super fidgety. If that isn't already clear enough, let me just tell you, right, how good this thing is. So 3 deployment options at the very least, right? You want to get fancy with it, you flip it upside down, and you got some more. Just get creative with it, have some fun. All right, look at that. So great size too. We're going to get into the ergonomics in a moment. As far as materials, we have 154 cm steel, which is great. I love it. This one is a sheep's foot. In my book, they call it a reverse tanto. We can have the argument all day long. Get the blade police out here I talked about this during the task review. Somebody went off on my IG saying that it is not a sheep's foot, it is a reverse tanto. And G-Ball Vision came to the rescue, explaining where the reverse tanto even came from in the first place. But as far as my book goes, long story short, this will always be a sheep's foot in my book, and I love it. By the way, this is a very savage looking geometry right here. I love the humps. Got a little bit of a hump right here, another little bit of a hump right over there, which is great. I compared this knife a ton to the Task because when I was carrying both, honestly, I couldn't decide which one. The action on both of them was so good, I had to carry both of them at the same time, and I did not look back, right? Unlike the Task, which doesn't give you any jimping on the spine, you do get some jimping going on this one for the standard grip. And also you can forward choke right here. Check out that finger choke right there, it's perfect. And you got very decent jimping all the way through. This little curve section right here is perfect for your thumb, and you can go to town slicing whatever it is you need to cut. Straps, right, that carrot, you know, sharpen the pencil for your kids, whatever it is you got going on, man, you can go to work with this thing and they will get it done. Absolutely no doubt about that. I love the satin finish, by the way. I feel like Kizer does a really good job with their satin finish. This one is a flat grind, not a full flat grind, but pretty high up, which is nice. Good amount of flat surface, if you will, on the grind there, which is good. A very pokey tip right there, right? Like Nick Chavas will say, which is also great. By the way, utility cuts with this thing, bam, all day, every day, draw cuts. Man, that tip is wonderful. You can get work done. It's like having an X-Acto knife right there. Anytime you need it, that will do everything you need it to do right there. Open packages, open boxes, Amazon packages, you name it, right? It can do it all. So I love the 154 cm. It is a higher up steel, if you will, compared to your typical D2 or even 14C28N or Nitro V, right? So it's a little bit higher than that. It's still lower than, let's say, S35VN or S30V or something like that. But man, for the price on this thing, it is really good. Great value, and you're gonna hear me say that throughout the video. Great value on this knife. This one comes in at $79. I'm just gonna say that right off the bat. I'll probably say it again towards the end of the video, but again, link down below if you want to check out more information. But 78 bucks. It is just shy of the $75 threshold for this channel's budget knife at $75 or less, but not by a lot. Not by a lot. $4, right? $4 more, and boom, you get this knife right here, which is wonderful. Black micarta going on. I feel like they do, on this type of micarta, they do a really good job. It's pretty good. I love the texture, right? It gives you enough grip. Apparently, from what I've seen, the more you use the knife, right, everyday use, you know, sweaty paws or what have you, it will continue to turn darker and darker. That's what I hear from this type of micarta. It is actually a little bit different than the micarta on the, let's say, Kizer KUH, another one that I got a chance to check out at the same time. If you ask me personally, I don't know, man, it's hard to choose. I like what this one has going on. I like what this one has going on as well. I feel like they do a good job with both, but this one is certainly a looker, and I love that. That black with a little bit of, it sort of feels like it has a little bit of gray to it. I love it. By the way, before I forget, the designer on this one is, right, the camera can focus, Christian Niat. So I'm not familiar with the designer per se, but he did a crazy great job right here on this one. I'm gonna tell you that much. I believe he goes by Slim's Knives on Instagram, right? So check him out. You can see his sort of octopus Hell Hydra logo right there. Of course, I'm joking with the whole Hell Hydra part, but they got the octopus or squid octopus logo going on there, which is pretty neat. It says Cryptid on this side, got the designer logo, and Kizer and 154 cm. So the billboarding department, it's, you know, it's pretty decent, right? Nothing too big, doesn't really occupy a lot of real estate on the blade. It's nice and small, tucked away closer to the handle, which is good. Let's talk ergonomics, right? So first of all, the handles here are nice and round. Okay, I get excited about this knife, so I'm trying to make sure I keep the video on track with what I have covered so far versus what I haven't covered so far. But ergonomically speaking, I want to point out the handle is nice and chamfer, rounded off all the way through. You have a nice little curve right here for your index finger. All the other fingers follow suit. Check this out. I have average hands, not the biggest hands or the smallest of hands, and it is a full finger grip on the standard hold right here, hammer grip right there. All 4 fingers are good to go. Now, if you have like bear paws with like triple XL hands, that's a different story. Now, let me introduce you to the finger choil right here, right? You can forward choke on this bad boy like so, and you are good to go, right? That adds another, you know, maybe half an inch or so of grip space, which is perfect, right? Good way to maximize the whole different ways you can grip it, of course, for comfort, depending on what task you are doing or performing at the moment. But yeah, definitely they do a great job. I mentioned the same thing during the task review, and that is they do a good job here. The finger choil is not obnoxiously big or annoyingly small. It is just the perfect size, at least for my hand, for my size fingers here. I can do control cuts like this all day, every day. Another thing too for righties, well, you'll notice in this grip right here, I'm very far away from the button. If I do this grip here, I'm still, you know, decently far away from the button. You have to actually go out of your way and try to bend your finger in a way which is sort of unnatural, because I feel like your tendons don't even allow you to do so, to even try to push that, and I'm not even able to do it. Like right there, I just did it. If I'm intentionally trying to do it, sure, but in any other scenario, you're good to go. If you're a lefty, standard grip, you're good. Maybe on your forward choke, you want to be careful. But again, it's nice and sunk in where it's sort of flush with the actual handle. So you actually have to press it in quite a bit, like all the way in order for it to actuate. So I feel like you should be okay, right? So if you're lefty, just be mindful of where the button is, but you should be good there. So yeah, let's get a quick weight on this bad boy. We have milled liners, which are proud, by the way. This thing is super lightweight. So let's just get the good old scale out here. And while we're at it, we're gonna do a face reveal. All right, what's up, guys? Miguel right here with the crazy hair. What's going on? All right, weight on this one, 2.8 ounces. 2.8 ounces, that is not bad, under 3 ounces right there. The Task is just a hair heavier, 3.3 ounces. Again, both of these are super lightweight. And you know me, right? I love a knife, a lightweight knife, as much as I like a little bit heavier knife. So to me, it's not a deal whatsoever. So, you know, it is a small knife. It carries really light, especially with like gym shorts or what have you, something like that. Let's get a blade stock thickness here going on. This one is 0.11 inches right there, so a little bit thinner than the 0.12 on the Task. And as far as the handle goes, it is, ooh, check that out. If I'm reading that right, it is actually a little thicker by a hair than the Task. The Task was 4.49, this one's 0.51. Either way, the average of what I see in the channel here on the thickness of the handles is pretty much half an inch. Most companies aim for that half an inch thickness on the handles, which is good, right? And you can see that on this one. Let's talk pocket clip for a second. I haven't touched on that. So I said, ergonomically speaking, this thing is really good. Man, I don't know what it is about Kizer, but this style pocket clip right here is a W in my book. This style pocket clip right here works, just simply works. And I can not even feel the fact that there's a pocket clip right there. That's like a 9.8 out of 10. A 10 out of 10 would be no pocket clip whatsoever. This is a nice 9.8, 9.9 out of 10. Has a nice little round back, which is a good start. And it goes straight, little drop with the small race and a shallow bill right there, which is good. Good tension right there, easy to go in and out of the pocket. It is deep carry right there, right? It is deep carry, and because it is a ambidextrous knife, you can also mount it on the other side. Tip up carry only, but check out the opposite side here. There's a mill section right there for the pocket clip to be reversed, which is nice. It does have countersunk screws, which sit nice and flush right there. So that's gonna improve the performance going in and out of the pocket. My only pet peeve here, nitpick if you will, is the fact that they could have done something similar to the Raccoon. They could have done a nice little filler tab on this side with countersunk screws as well, just to kind of fill in this gap right here. Is it a deal breaker? Is it jeopardizing functionality in any way, shape, or form? No, not really. But something like this is just a tad bit more elegant. And again, it is just a preference. I feel like some of you guys may agree with me, and if you disagree, that is okay. Right? It doesn't change the knife one bit. It is just nice to have, if you will. And of course, let me get out my tools here. I have the Spyderco tool set. This one is highly recommendable. Link down below in the description if you want to check it out. I have, now they do a good job right here. See, TA bit, body screws, TA. Right, again, it gives no excuse to other companies that sell premium knives to do T6s, right? The whole community as a whole, it is 2024, right? Everybody agrees that T8s are better than T8. Now, where do they do T6? And that's not a big deal really. It's in the pocket clip, right? Pocket clip is T6, not a big deal. We saw that in the Task as well. And right here in the thumb stud, right, that is T6. Would it have been nice to have TA all around? Yes, it would have, but at least they have TA where it counts, which is good. Body screws and pivots and then T6 only in the thumb stud and pocket clip right there. With that in mind, let's just do some paper cutting here. Got some chicken scratch notebook paper, and let's just see how this guy does. Ooh, right off the bat, those slices are very, very good. It goes right into the paper with no issues. Check that out. Full slice through and through. Did I mention this thing has a flat grind? Because in case I hadn't mentioned that up until now, it does, which makes it, of course, a slicer. It's also very nice and thin on the blade stock thickness there. And yeah, this thing's gonna cut paper all day, every day. Absolutely no doubt about that. What about some cardboard? I got some everyday diaper box cardboard, single wall right here. Remember when cutting cardboard, done cut perpendicular like this, but at an angle like that. And just let's see how this guy does. I'm gonna try that forward choke position here. Okay, and keep in mind, this knife is not brand new out of the box. So even though you saw me unbox it, it is a knife that is getting passed around as part of Lefty EDC's knife pass around. So it has already seen some use, and as you can clearly see, this thing is holding a pretty good edge. So go ahead and rate it for me in the comments on a scale from 1 through 10. How sharp is this guy? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, this thing can certainly annihilate that cardboard with that flat grind. Man, oh man, this thing is really, really slicey, right? Really good job right there on this knife. Honestly, what is there to say about this knife that I didn't already mention in the task review? I feel like with both of these designs, Kizer just basically hit a home run right here. They did a really, really good job. These are very practical tools, very functional tools, and at the same time, you know, for an enthusiast, a knife enthusiast, it offers, you know, a good amount of, I want to say, I'm not sure if this is the right word or not, but it provides a good amount of feedback, good amount of pleasure, enjoyment, right, satisfaction, there we go, out of using this said tool, right? I don't know about you guys, but you know, most of my knife use throughout the day, of course, you know, I'm gonna cut out some boxes here and there, you know, cut out some rope or string or everything like that here and there, but most of my day I'm testing out knives, I'm testing the action, right, fidgeting with them for the most part while I'm editing a video or making a social media post or what have you. And that, I value that a ton, right? In my book, if the knife has good action, if it's fidgety, everything works well, that to me is a plus. Not to mention, of course, the blade steel, which in this case, they did a good job for the price. The micarta feels really good, ergonomically, the knives. Both of these are solid knives. So honestly, when it comes down to it, if you had to pick between one or the other, I really can't. I don't know why. You know, if you like a slightly bigger knife, sure, go with the Task. If you like a slightly smaller knife, more lightweight knife, get the Cryptid. But honestly, both of them are so good. You can't go wrong with either one. And in my opinion, why choose one over the other when you can probably own both, right? Again, this one was $84, $85, $86, or $82. I don't know. How much was this thing? $82, right? $82 or $79. So they're not that far off from each other to begin with, and just great action all throughout. Honestly, can't recommend them enough. So there you have it, guys. Highly recommend both these knives. The Cryptid is really good. The Task is really good as well. All these knives are going to be linked down below if you want to check them out. Of course, it does help out the channel if you end up purchasing a knife through those links, but that is entirely up to you. Honestly, can't rave enough about these knives. If I really wanted to be nitpicky, I guess you could say T6, you know, screws here and there, and maybe that one bit about the pocket clip inlay or what have you, but I mean, those are, again, very nitpicky things. Where it counts, the action, the materials, this thing is a W in my book. So there you have it. Again, the Kizer Cryptid. Also check out the review on the Task if you haven't already. I'm going to be putting a card for that video right here for you guys to check that one next. If you guys made it to the end, you guys are the real MVPs. Thank you so much for all your love and support. Really appreciate every single one of you. Go ahead and smash that like button if you haven't already. It really helps this video reach a larger audience with the YouTube algorithm. And if you're not yet subscribed, this will be a great time to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I make knife content like this on an ongoing basis, and I promise you it'll be worth coming back for more. If you want to support the channel a step further, there will be a link for Patreon down below, or you can simply support the channel right here on YouTube by becoming a channel member. You'll get access to exclusive perks. Hope you guys really enjoyed this one. I had a lot of fun making this video and also obviously carrying these knives. Can't recommend them enough. Again, you guys go ahead and check them out. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.